Hello, everyone. So I just got back from a screening of Cocaine Bear. This movie is rated R, an hour and 35 minutes long. It is directed by Elizabeth Banks, written by Jimmy Warden, stars Kerry Russell, Alden Ehrenreich, O'Shea Jackson, Ray Liotta. There's actually quite a few familiar faces that make their way into this movie. But yes, without further ado, let me get into this ridiculous little movie known as Cocaine Bear. So this movie is based off a true story that took place in 1985. The description of it is an oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teens converge on a Georgia forest where a huge black bear goes on a murderous rampage after unintentionally ingesting cocaine. So basically, there is a group of drug dealers smuggling Colombian cocaine. Their plane's going down, so they toss all the cocaine out of the plane so they can go and grab it later after, again, too, the plane crashes, grab the cocaine, distribute it later. Of course, what gets to it before them is a big black bear who basically gets a taste of cocaine, gets a high off of it, and basically just wants to keep on having the cocaine. So it's going around the forest, has a great sense of smell, of course, finding all these bags of cocaine, and again, too, just a group of cops, kids skipping school, criminals, park rangers all get caught up in the mix of this black bear's path. And the one thing that I was really nervous about going to this movie is that it was going to poke fun at the bear in a lot of ways, poke fun at the situation in a lot of ways, which I can thankfully say that it doesn't make fun of the bear in a lot of ways. It actually treats the situation with a decent amount of respect in terms of the nature of it, in terms of the black bear. I mean, it's definitely not tasteful in a lot of ways still, but it definitely doesn't get into humor of the bear. It does show the horror and again to just how fucked up the situation is in terms of the bear. Where it does make fun of the situation a lot is the humans, where again too it just makes them all very goofy, very animated characters who again, too, most of the dialogue of this movie is the bear just did cocaine. This bear's on cocaine. This is fuck. This is crazy. That's pretty much the majority of this movie, which again, too, fair, understandable being in the situation that a lot of these people are in. But yes, it's very goofy. It's very animated in terms of a lot of just to how the characters are written and acted within this movie. And the characters definitely aren't good in a lot of ways, so you don't care about them at all when it comes to them getting mauled or killed by this bear that again too is just on a murderous rampage after having again to who knows how many kilos of cocaine. So you're not gonna care for any of them at the end of the day. And again too, just mixed with the really bad pacing and writing of this movie, this definitely I never thought I'd be bored watching a movie about a bear that going on cocaine that's on a murderous rampage. The pacing is very, very slow to get started, and when it does get into it, it does this weird timeline thing that kind of bounces in between flashbacks that, again, so isn't really clear about what's taking place when, and then almost doing like a weird Dunkirk kind of timeline where events and people meet each other up, even though they don't tell it in a chronological order, which again, too, it was easy enough to kind of tell when things were going on, but it was just a really weird way to showcase everything. And for this being listed as a thriller, um there are some like gory kills, but they're all you see the aftermath of it. All of it is pretty much off screen where you'll like see people reacted to getting mauled or their limbs torn off, but you don't actually see a lot of that go down, which I found too. It's just not a way to make thriller movies. It's not a way to do horror movies or like the scary thing is the death, the process of that happening. So the fact that they didn't show it, I found was really, really weird in a lot of ways. I mean, some of the kills are still brutal in terms of the aftermath of it, but I feel like in order for this to have been a lot more effective, they needed to show these kills. They needed to show the maulings, which they just didn't do for, I don't know, whether it be regions of budget or easy directing, who knows? But I just wish that they would have actually gone into the kills and shown them in that way, like actually shown them. So really, with everything taken together, this is a very passable movie to watch. I'm gonna have to give it a 5 out of 10. I do again appreciate that it didn't go into making fun of the nature of the situation in terms of again to the bear, but a lot of the characters that are just so shitty and so goofy. The CGI on the bear wasn't bad for the most part, it was alright, but there's just some sequences that, again, too, just got a little too comedy and goofy for me, the main one having to be the ambulance scene, which was just absolutely fucking ridiculous in a lot of ways. But, yeah, this is a very passable movie for something, again, too, I just don't understand why it was so boring for, again, too, just the premise of this movie. It's very slow to get off his feet, and it's easily something that you can skip out and save your money on this year. If you've seen Cocaine Bear, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this review, definitely give it a thumbs up, and you can check out everything I do in this channel through the playlist down below, and I'll link some up top here for convenience sake. Thank you for subscribing and turn that little ringer on so you know when I upload new videos. If you want to check out the description of this video on my channel bio, there's a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So get up and join that amazing community. I'll make it even more amazing than it is already. And yeah, just awesome, guys.